Vinayak Damodar Savarkar was born on May 28, 1883 in Bhagur near Nashik, Maharashtra. He was born into a Chitpavan Brahmin family. His parents, Damodar and Radhabai, instilled in him a strong sense of patriotism. Savarkar's childhood was marked by both tragedy and a burgeoning sense of national consciousness. He lost his mother at a young age, and this loss deeply affected him. He witnessed firsthand the growing resentment against British rule. Savarkar's education played a pivotal role in shaping his worldview. He excelled in his studies and attended Fergusson College in Pune, a hotbed of nationalist fervour. He was deeply influenced by prominent freedom fighters like Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Tilak's message of Swaraj, or self-rule, resonated deeply with Savarkar. He became actively involved in student movements that sought to challenge British authority. Savarkar's early activism was marked by a radical and uncompromising approach. At the young age of 12, he led a group of boys in an attack on a local mosque during a period of Hindu-Muslim riots. This incident provided an early glimpse into his strong Hindu beliefs. In 1904, he formed the Mitra Mela, a secret society dedicated to fighting for complete independence. The Mitra Mela later evolved into the Abhinav Bharat Society, becoming a prominent platform for revolutionary activities. Savarkar's revolutionary zeal and intellectual prowess made him a prominent figure in the Indian nationalist movement. His early experiences laid the foundation for his lifelong struggle against British rule and shaped his controversial ideology, which continues to be debated today. In 1906, Savarkar sailed to London to study law. This marked a turning point in his life. London became a crucible where his revolutionary ideas were further forged. He joined the India House, a hub for Indian students and nationalists. There, he came into contact with like-minded individuals who shared his passion for India's freedom. Savarkar's time in London was marked by intense intellectual and political activity. He continued his education and immersed himself in the study of revolutionary movements across the world. He drew inspiration from the works of Italian nationalist Giuseppe Mazzini, seeing parallels between the Italian struggle for unification and India's fight for independence. Savarkar's writings and speeches during this period reflected his growing radicalism. He penned the highly influential book, The Indian War of Independence, which provided a detailed account of the 1857 Indian Rebellion. The British government banned this book for its seditious content, which only served to enhance its appeal among Indian nationalists. Savarkar's activities in London did not escape the attention of the British authorities. He became a person of interest for his alleged involvement in supplying arms to Indian revolutionaries, including the pistol used by Madan Lal Dhangra to assassinate William Hutt Curzon Willey, a British official. This incident brought Savarkar into direct conflict with the British government. Savarkar's involvement in revolutionary activities ultimately led to his arrest. He was apprehended in London in 1910, facing serious charges that included abetment of murder and waging war against the king. His arrest sent shockwaves through the Indian nationalist movement. Facing extradition to India and a lengthy prison sentence, Savarkar made a daring attempt to escape. While being transported through the Suez Canal, he jumped ship and swam ashore at the French port of Marseille. This daring act made headlines around the world and cemented his image as a fearless revolutionary. However, Savarkar's escape was short-lived. He was recaptured by French authorities despite his plea for asylum, which was supported by prominent French socialists and human rights activists. He was extradited back to India. This marked the beginning of a long and arduous period of imprisonment. Upon his return to India, Savarkar was tried for his role in the Nasik conspiracy case, which centered around the assassination of A.M.T. Jackson, the collector of Nasik. The trial was lengthy and highly publicized, becoming a focal point for Indian nationalist sentiment. In 1911, Savarkar was found guilty and sentenced to 50 years of imprisonment in the notorious Cellular Jail in the Andaman Islands, one of the harshest punishments meted out by the British government. The Cellular Jail, located on the remote Andaman Islands, was designed to break the spirit of even the most hardened criminals. It was known for its brutal conditions, solitary confinement, and harsh treatment of prisoners. Savarkar's arrival in 1911 marked a harrowing chapter. Life was nothing short of torture. Savarkar endured solitary confinement and constant harassment. Prisoners suffered from malnutrition and tropical diseases. Savarkar's health deteriorated rapidly. Despite this, his spirit remained unbroken. He used his time to read, write, and reflect. He penned poems and essays, smuggled out to inspire resistance. Savarkar wrote mercy petitions to the British government. These petitions sparked much debate and controversy. Some argue they were tactical, others see a change of heart. Section 5. Freedom and the Rise of Hindutva. After spending over a decade in the Cellular Jail, Savarkar was released from prison in 1924. However, his release came with stringent conditions. He was restricted from leaving Ratnagiri district in Maharashtra. He was barred from participating in political activities. Savarkar's experiences in prison had a profound impact on him. They led him to develop his concept of Hindutva. This ideology emphasized Hindu nationalism. It called for the cultural and political unity of Hindus. Savarkar believed that Hindus were a distinct nation. They needed to unite to protect their interests. Despite the restrictions placed upon him, Savarkar found ways to disseminate his ideas. He became actively involved in social and cultural organizations. He used these platforms to promote Hindu unity and self-reliance. He became a powerful orator. He attracted large crowds to his speeches. Savarkar's advocacy for Hindutva brought him into conflict with other streams of thought within the Indian nationalist movement. His emphasis on Hindu identity was seen by some as being divisive. They argued that it undermined the broader goal of a united and independent India. Section 6. A Nation Divided, Savarkar and the Two-Nation Theory. As India moved closer to independence, the issue of Hindu-Muslim unity became increasingly contentious. Savarkar's views on this issue were shaped by his belief in Hindutva and his experiences with what he perceived as Muslim separatism. He was a strong proponent of the two-nation theory. This theory argued that Hindus and Muslims constituted two distinct nations. They could not coexist peacefully within a single country. Savarkar's support for the two-nation theory put him at odds with Mahatma Gandhi and the Indian National Congress. Gandhi advocated for a united India. He believed that Hindus and Muslims could live together harmoniously. Savarkar, on the other hand, believed that partition was the only solution to the growing Hindu-Muslim divide. Savarkar's views on the two-nation theory were controversial. They were seen by some as being divisive and inflammatory. However, his supporters argued that he was a realist. He was simply acknowledging the deep-seated divisions that existed between Hindus and Muslims. They believed that his warnings about the dangers of Muslim appeasement were prophetic. Section 7. A controversial legacy, Savarkar and the Gandhi assassination. The assassination of Mahatma Gandhi on January 30th, 1948, sent shockwaves throughout India and the world. It was a national tragedy that plunged the newly independent nation into mourning. In the aftermath of Gandhi's assassination, suspicion fell upon a number of individuals and organizations, including Savarkar and the Hindu Mahasabha. Savarkar's long-standing opposition to Gandhi's philosophy of non-violence, coupled with his fiery rhetoric against Muslim appeasement, made him a target of suspicion. Nathuram Godse, the man who assassinated Gandhi, was a former member of the Hindu Mahasabha and a known admirer of Savarkar. Savarkar was arrested and charged with conspiracy in the assassination plot. The trial was highly publicized and deeply divisive. The prosecution presented evidence linking Savarkar to the conspirator. However, they were unable to establish a direct link between Savarkar and the assassination itself. The court ultimately acquitted Savarkar of all charges. However, the shadow of suspicion continued to hang over him for many years. Some historians believe that while Savarkar may not have directly ordered Gandhi's assassination, his inflammatory rhetoric created a climate of hate that made such an act more likely. Section 8. Savarkar's place in history, a contested legacy. Veer Savarkar's legacy remains a subject of intense debate and controversy in India today. He is revered by his followers as a visionary leader, a fearless freedom fighter, and the father of Hindutva. They point to his early sacrifices in the struggle against British rule, his intellectual contributions to Hindu nationalist thought, and his role in promoting Hindu pride and unity. However, Savarkar is also a deeply polarizing figure. His critics view him as a Hindu supremacist, a divisive figure whose ideology of Hindutva laid the groundwork for religious intolerance and violence. They condemn his support for the two-nation theory, his opposition to Gandhi's non-violent movement, and his alleged involvement in Gandhi's assassination. Savarkar's legacy continues to be contested in contemporary Indian politics and society. His ideology of Hindutva has gained increasing prominence in recent years. This is reflected in the rise of the Bharatiya Janata Party, which draws inspiration from Savarkar's teachings. The BJP's rise to power has led to a renewed interest in Savarkar's life and work. It has also fueled the debate over his place in Indian history. Section 9. Conclusion. Understanding Veer Savarkar. Veer Savarkar was a complex and controversial figure who played a significant role in shaping the contours of modern India. He was a man of contradictions, a revolutionary who later embraced Hindu nationalism, a fierce critic of British imperialism, who was accused of collaborating with the colonial government. Understanding Savarkar's legacy requires a nuanced and objective examination of his life, his writings, and the historical context in which he operated. It is essential to move beyond simplistic labels of hero or villain and to engage with the complexities of his thought and actions. Savarkar's legacy continues to be debated and reinterpreted in contemporary India. His ideas on Hindu nationalism, cultural identity, and the relationship between religion and politics remain relevant in today's world. By studying Savarkar's life and work, we can gain a deeper understanding of the forces that have shaped modern India and the challenges that continue to confront the nation.